greatness.
Anything you've ever learned late in life, I feel like it's your obligation as a leader, as a parent, as a mentor to the younger generation to make sure you teach them early. The reason why I'm saying this today is because I realize that our parents or our ancestors were privy to the information that we have right now. There's so much that they didn't have the opportunity to learn, but because of the world becoming a global village based on the infrastructure, communication, the birth of the internet, we are at an advantage where we can learn so much from different people from all around the world. And I feel like it's an obligation that we have as the leaders of tomorrow, or the people who actually have the information right now, to make sure that we pass the same information and knowledge to our children, and not only to our children, but also to the future generations. uh, I was reading and doing a research about what's one of the elements that really preventing people from uh, learning or getting the knowledge or the information that they need. And I came across an article that was talking about gatekeepers in the different industries that we have. And from all the articles I read, I felt like we have a generation that came before us that has so much information. Like they have gained all this information, but what happens is uh, majority of the people don't want to share the game. They don't want to share the information because they feel like if I give so and so the information that I've gained for a long time, then they might actually gain an upper hand, and I might be of no use to this generation. But if we trace back the history of humanity, the only reason why we are where we are right now, the only way we were able to gain the knowledge, the information, the history that we know right now is because our forefathers made sure that they would narrate stories to keep the legacy of the different tribes that we come from. And so I feel like it's our obligation to make sure that any information you have learned as a parent, as a big brother, as a mentor, that you find youngins or the new generation, like you find young people who you can impact or you can actually share the information with, so we can empower them, so we can give them the right tools and help them to succeed in this road called life. And so on today's episode, I thought it was necessary to highlight the issue of gatekeeping. I remember once hearing someone saying, anyone that is a gatekeeper, anyone that feels giving out free game or sharing information is gonna make them feel less of a man or less of a woman, really doesn't have the right information. Because if you are a person who's always giving out free gems, who's always sharing information that's gonna uplift or impact the next generation, I believe you're definitely gonna continue getting more information, because a true leader always keeps on learning. Like you just don't stop learning because you've grown old. No, you continue learning from your experiences, you continue learning from the interactions you have with people around you. And so I just want to encourage you, if you are grown up and you have younger brothers and sisters, if you are a big bro, if you're a dad, if you're a mom, like anyone who has youngins, brothers and sisters looking up to them, anything that you've learned at an older age, don't wait until it's the last minute when you're at your deathbed for you to share the games and the gems that you've learned. Make sure as you live this life, every day you have an opportunity to sit down and impact or share some knowledge with the younger generation. Make it a habit to do that, because any seeds that we plant today are gonna be the fruits that the future generation are gonna reap. So let's stop gatekeeping. If you have any information that's gonna help the other person grow, if you have any information that's gonna help your friend, your neighbors, your community flourish and grow and advance, then it's always good to share that information, because it's free. Like they say, each one teach one. So for this episode, I had nothing much to talk about, but to just highlight the issue of we need to stop gatekeeping. We need to stop gatekeeping, and we need to start helping the younger generation by giving them game by giving them the information that's going to equip them to become better leaders, to become better innovators, to become better entrepreneurs, and not only better, but even greater. All right? So be mindful of how you share your information with the younger generation. Let's stop holding the game. Let's stop holding the connection that can help them step into the next level of their life. If you're in a certain industry and you know you have some relevant information, you have some connection that you can use to uplift the youth in your community, or even connect your brothers and sisters so they can have a better life, do it. Because sometimes you might disregard someone and maybe they are smart, and just by putting them in that position, they're going to be able to elevate and change their community. Because I don't see the need of us getting all this information, getting all this knowledge, and dying with all those resources. Like the late Dr. Miles Monroe used to say, he said the richest place on earth is a graveyard, because that's where all the books that were never written are lying. That's where all the great innovation, all the great ideas, the scripts are about great movies that were never written. So you don't want to live this life and gain all this information and then leave this world without impacting or creating an exit strategy on how you're going to create a legacy. I believe whenever you've been blessed with greatness, you need to start preparing the next generation that's going to take up the mantle after you retire. So let's make it a habit to share the game with our loved ones, to share the game with the people who are close to us or the next generation, so that they may be able to take the mantle once we are done with this race called life. All right. Until next time, this has been Ownership and Greatness. My name is Joe Chege. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on all our podcast platforms. And you can also connect with us on all our social media platforms at Ownership and Greatness. Until next time, stop being gatekeepers. Let's share the information. Each one teach one. Peace and blessing.